Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Just wanted to check in on Xander Bogaerts and how he's doing today after last night.
We're pretty optimistic. There was just a little bit of dehydration, and he's going to be just fine. There's nothing that we feel like is going to be anything that's going to compromise him, but we'll find out more today after he gets treatment, but we're optimistic.
Mike, now that we know that there will be a Game 4, do you have any update on who would potentially start that game? And is it contingent on what happens in Game 3?
Not necessarily contingent upon Game 3. We do have an idea. We're going to finalize today and maybe announce something either today or tomorrow.
Is Dylan Cease an option for that on short rest?
All options are on the table at this point.
Mike, now that you've had some time to kind of reflect on the first two games of the series, you were at the Cardinals, obviously, around one of the most kind of classic rivalries in the game.
Right.
How, at this point in time, do the Dodgers and Padres kind of compare?
I mean, it's very, first of all, the geography creates a, natural rivalry, enthusiasm amongst two fan bases. So that's very unique and exciting and fun to be a part of and experience. As far as reflection on the first two games, I mean, hard-fought games. I was really pleased with how our guys responded to yesterday, not only coming back from being down a game, but also the circumstances during the game. It was it allowed us to, we're a very close team, but it created a deeper bond with our club.
Mike, speaking about that moment, just Manny Machado, the leadership that he showed in the seventh inning, and just what kind of leadership have you seen from him in this season that you've been with the Padres?
Yeah, leadership can be in a couple of different ways. Manny's done a tremendous job. I'm really proud of him. I'm really grateful for him. He's really taken some of the next steps and been a leader. But the two forms are by your actions, which Manny's done exceptionally well. How he goes about it, how he takes care of himself, how he takes care of his teammates, how he plays the game, so that his actions speak louder than words. And last night, though, he did a really nice job of being able, in a very different environment, you could say hostile, a lot of emotions going on, just making sure that everybody was staying present and focused appropriately, and use his words, and his words were very well delivered. So I thought it was an excellent job of Manny showing that he's a leader of this club.
Come down here on the left side, second row to Bob.
Hey, Mike, after that win last night, the emotional win, what was it like just coming back here on the bus or cars, however you guys got here? What was that feeling like?
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Sense of satisfaction, like I said, there's wins and there's wins. That was a nice win to be able to come back. We come to our park, with a split. Feel good about that. Broke the home field advantage. Sense of satisfaction with the way we, like I said, we competed, the way we stayed together, the way we, played baseball and executed. So there was a sense of accomplishment there. And then it was, a little bit of decompression to get ready to do it again.
Thanks.
Yep.
Front row here on the left.
Mike, your thoughts on the offensive performance of Fernando Tatis, what he's doing, 9 of 14, no strikeouts over the postseason, and what his personality brings?
His personality, I love it. I love our personality of our club. I love the fact that they're unique and they're themselves. All our guys are free to be them, and but they do it in a team setting with their teammates, at the forefront of it. But Toddy's got just a beautiful personality. He's a showman that has amazing ability, but respects the game highly. As far as what he's doing, he's letting his ability take place. He's doing a lot of good hunting. What I mean by that is, he's getting balls he can put swings on and just not trying to do too much with it. He's taking his walks, but everything he's doing is in the zone. And he's just looking to put good swings on the baseball, and he's playing good in every facet. He made a great play yesterday on the ball in the gap. Bit of force already on the bases and clearly taking great at bats.
Back row on the left.
Hey, Mike, you obviously know the character of your group, having been around them. The way they responded to everything last night, what does that say to everybody else just about the makeup of your group?
You know, it just reinforces what we've known as a group. All we can control is our own way we deal with business, but this is a group that's going to show up and is going to compete regardless of circumstances. That's one of the reasons we got here. You know, day game, night game, cold, hot. You know, win, lose, we win, we want more. We don't win, we expect to win the next day. It's just about staying in the moment and getting after it.
To Jesse on the left side.
Mike, I know it probably feels like a while ago, but Michael King in that first game against Atlanta, obviously really great. What stood out to you about not only the way he threw the ball, but just sort of his presence that night? Yeah, great presence. Michael has great presence. You know, he's demonstrated that. We knew that coming in from the intel we got from New York. As part of the reason I'm comfortable that AJ wanted to acquire him. His makeup and his competitive spirit is something that was coveted. His stuff is outstanding as well, but I've just appreciated how he's carried himself, how he's competed. He's a nice, quiet competitor, but he's got some real fire to him. But showed up and was able to harness all those emotions and go out and execute. And once you do that, your stuff is allowed to play. And his stuff is really, really good. I mean, the ball moves tremendously. The two-seamers just, I mean, you look at it, it's like, wow, that's really nasty. And then he's got the sweeper, which has got, you know, big-time action to it. And then the changeup is nasty, so he can equalize, you know, righties and lefties. He's just got the complete package. Yep.
Go to the far left.
Skip, following up on Toddy, he has such a great innate ability to barrel baseballs. You're right, when he just stays within himself, the ball tends to fly a long way. When he gets in trouble, his swings gets a little long. Are you guys reinforcing to him during the hot streak, just keep doing what you're doing, you don't have to hit it another 50 feet?
I don't think we need to reinforce it with him. I mean, Toddy's a, you know, veteran guy now in this league and has had some experiences. And yeah, I know Vic maybe gives him a cue or two, or maybe even his dad to remind him. But you know, like Cannell, he's really self-aware of what he's doing and how he's when he's at his best. I think we all maybe need an occasional reminder, but it's not anything at the forefront. We trust Toddy completely.
Anything else for Mike? We got Sam up on the riser in the back.
Mike, Higgy's obviously had a big impact offensively, 3 home runs in 4 postseason games. Could you elaborate on what Higgy brings on the other side of the game, behind the plate, working with his pitching staff, and what he's done in that sense all year? Yeah, he's been fantastic. He's done a job of being an extension of myself. You know, it's a big part. I always feel like there's a connection with the catcher-manager relationship is important. There's also a really healthy relationship and a connection with Ruben. You know, they talk a lot and, you know, talk through game planning. Peter Somerville, too, does some of our game planning. But, you know, Ruben and Higgy are in lockstep, do a lot of really good communication back and forth. And it's two-way. It's not, you know, top-down. It's same with me. We listen and we express and change or share ideas and thoughts. And then finally, the most important thing is his relationship with the pitchers. You know, that's the most important relationship, is making sure he's synced up with them. They all feel comfortable with him, and he's working with them on how they want to use their stuff and how they're going to attack guys. And he's just got a great demeanor about him as well. He's been a tremendous asset in the clubhouse, a great guy. He got a good energy. He's got a great personality, but really smart, and done a really good job of shepherding our staff.
Mike, you're fresh off New York, Boston. How did last night compare to the rivalry that you left behind?
Similar, especially in a playoff atmosphere. It definitely makes it a little bit more intense. But yeah, that's what we expect in terms of the atmosphere and also performance.
You've spoken about an evolution of appreciation of Fernando Tatis Jr. from afar, the way you thought about him when you weren't his teammate. What did you see from him last night? And it seems like he kind of relishes playing the villain in that atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely hated pitching against him. He's just such a talent that you never want him up in big spots when you're the opposing team. But as a player, I mean, the guy does not shy away from the moment. And one thing that I admire about him is when he does succeed, which is often, he's celebrating with his teammates. It's never to show up another team or another player. It's like he's just having fun with his teammates, and that's something that I didn't realize when I was playing against him, but as a teammate, he's absolutely incredible.
What could you learn from watching Yu Darvish pitch to that lineup yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, that's why Darvish has had such a decorated career. His demeanor in big games and big spots is something that I'll always admire. I try to be as stoic as possible, but sometimes the emotions get to me. Doesn't seem like it affects Darvish. And even knowing going into that game, if we lose that game, we're down 2-0. It's a big uphill battle for us. So having the composure that he did and how dominant he was, it's always impressive to watch him work.
You're in the third row on the left side.
Kind of circling back to the rivalry between the two teams, how much of that, how aware were you of that when you got traded over last offseason? And, what have you learned and kind of discovered about it since then?
Yeah, I felt like I saw it a lot in the 22 playoffs. I think that was what was in my head coming over here. And then it's honestly, just how the fans treat each other. You know that there's going to be fights in the crowd. You know that they're not going to be saying nice things when we're in LA. And when you go to a team that doesn't care, you don't see that. Similar in Boston when I was a Yankee, fans are going to get on you, and it's one of my favorite things about the game, because I think hearing a pin drop in an opposing stadium is the joy of this game. So feeling that yesterday in the 8th and 9th inning was really fun.
Do you in particular kind of feed off that extra energy when you're out there?
Of course, yeah. I think it's something that as a player you gotta feed off of. You gotta add it to your game and make the pressure become an added privilege. And you know that you're out there playing a kid's game, but when you got thousands of fans rooting against you and cussing at you, it's a lot more fun.
Go to the back row on the left side.
Hey, Michael, what does the response that you guys had as a team last night kind of say about the makeup of this club?
Yeah, big credit to Manny. Manny had us all come together. I also think that the performance is what matters more than the team just coming together and saying we're going to stick together. And seeing that those last couple innings, how we responded was a huge positive. I also think it starts with Darvish. Darvish had however long of a break while he's standing out there on the mound in his 7th inning, and he goes out there and puts up a 0. And at that point, I think it was still 4-1. So it's a big situation for us to calm down the noise. And he put up the 0, kept the momentum on our side, and we went out there and put up however many runs.
You kind of touched on it. You're obviously coming off a high-intensity start, maybe even more juice going into this one. What do you do with that, knowing that it's going to be maybe even more of an edge on the other side and the environment and all that?
Yeah, I think I know I joked in my first one that my pitch count would have to be up a little bit. I think with the opposing team coming in, it'll be a little bit louder. I know that these fans show out, and they're definitely going to make it an uncomfortable environment for the Dodgers.
And then what do you do with the success of your last start? Is it a confidence booster, or are you the type of guy that just flush it and kind of on to the next one?
I'll definitely take a little bit of confidence from it, but definitely needs to be flushed because it's a totally different team. You know, I got a totally different approach. I can't use the same sequences, can't use the same pitches to a lot of these hitters. And then it's just continuing to be able to read swings and trust Higgy. Yeah.
Sam on the riser in the back.
Michael, Yu Darvish did a nice job against Ohtani last night, held him hitless, and he goes 0 for 4. How do you view that matchup at the top of the lineup in particular, and really within the context of their lineup 1 through 9?
Yeah, all credit to Darvish. That obviously he's what makes them go. If you can control him, and I also think if you can keep runners off base when he's at the plate is a huge thing. So he did a phenomenal job. You know, he's Shohei Ohtani, so you know he has the ability to get you even if you execute pitches. And it's really just limiting the damage when he's up there. So I'll definitely be asking Darvish what he was seeing and what his approach was.
Go to Barry, second row on the right.
Hey, Mike. So last night was kind of like I've seen it at a regular Wednesday night at Yankee Stadium. How would you compare the two?
I would disagree. No, I mean, yeah, the Yankee fans are nuts as well. Very fun to play in front of, very fun to play against, and you fully expect that. You know, it's a rivalry. It's a heated baseball game, and we were winning. So it's you get those frustrated fans. So like I said before, it's very fun to see the disappointment on opposing fans' faces, and I hope to continue to do that for the rest of the October.
Julian, in the back.
Mike, I had a quick question. I think after game one, there was a lot of narrative surrounding just walking Ohtani at that point. But what does it say about the starting pitchers to go after a guy like that and to take pride and to obviously have success in game two?
Yeah, I think it's a confidence booster for not only the pitcher, but also the team. I think that all of our stuff, when executed, plays against any hitter. Obviously, Ohtani's probably the best in the game. But it's that competing factor. And they still have Mookie and Freddie and Teoscar behind them. So, yes, you don't want Ohtani to be the guy that beats you, but you also have to be able to execute because you don't want to have to face those three guys with him on base, especially with the speed that he has. So it's a game that needs to be played, but I also think it's a confidence booster to be able to get a guy like that out.